Guys, deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning in. Now, I know you've all seen this latest news with Aaron Ramsey, the revelation that although there's a lot of conflicting reports, the main part being what a previous contract offer that was on the table for the Welsh midfielder has been removed, and the club are open to listening to offers from in January, so meaning he will depart the club on a free in the summer. At least on paper it looks like it has. John Cross has actually been speaking about, I believe the article is in the Daily Mail by John Cross. If I'm wrong, I apologise to John Cross, but it's also worth remembering that this is the same man that said Mesut Ozil has told teammates he's off to United, and he's met with Jose and Pogba and all of these things, so take it with a pinch of salt. But for me anyways, I've said this already, people. In fact, before I get into my own opinion, allegedly we rejected a £50 million bid for my man in the summer. Regardless of what your allegiance is, whether you think he should stay or go, if you look at it from a business proposition point of view, as non-biased, no one could tell me it doesn't make sense to sell my man. Not because I love Ramsey. But what I don't love is the same contract nonsense, and what I don't like is seeing these same things happen again and again and again. This is the same club that could have got 50 for Alexis Sanchez. Alright, cool, we went and got Mkhitaryan and we made the best of a bad situation, but you could have sold Alexis. There's a serious issue. This club hasn't learned from Ashley Cole, the Ashley Cole saga. Either give Ashley Cole or players the money or let them go and sell them and make your money back. We still ain't learned from that, and that's really what annoys me, to be honest with you. It really annoys me, because it's like this club don't have enough forecast planning, and it shows, because if we're really meant to be self-servicing, on top of developing players, scouting players properly, you're meant to renew players so that they can either be sold for good profit, which a 27-year-old, regardless of what I think of his opinion, he's 27 years of age, could be sold for a decent bit of change, and things like that. Like, it really annoys me, because we've sat here with Cole, many years ago, we've sat here with Ozil. He signed a new deal, whether you believe he should get 350k or not, which I don't. I feel it's a bit steep, and his performances haven't been there as much as I like him. We've been here with Alexis Sanchez. We've been here with many a player we've sat here. Like I said last year, like I said with Oxlade-Chamberlain, like I said with many a player that you guys have seen me sit here and talk about, yeah. Beginning of July, and mid-July, whenever pre-season starts, / beginning of August, you have to know what a man is thinking. The contract talk should have been going on last season. You have to know a man's planning. July, early August, do you want to stay? If he doesn't, we get rid of him by the end of August or mid-August or early August now, because they changed the dates and things. It doesn't matter. It seems like this club sleepwalk into this stuff. For what it's worth, allegedly, it's not Aaron Ramsey's fault. Allegedly, a contract was agreed. For whatever mystery reason, it's now been pulled from the table. Whether that's Aaron Ramsey's agents or his party or Arsenal's party going back on an agreement or wanting to add new terms, I don't know. I'm not at the table with them. I can only deal with the facts. So allegedly, it wasn't his fault. Allegedly, he was keen to stay, and Arsenal were and I quote, very confident about renewing his contract. So I can't understand what it is. On one hand, I want Aaron Ramsey to stay. I mean, when it's right, it's right. I don't think stats don't back it up, because everybody in midfield seems to score, but when you're looking at goal scorers, people that can grab goals from midfield, you're definitely not, Torreira's strengths are not there. You're definitely not looking at Xhaka. Maitland-Niles and Guendouzi, they're still very young, and you're definitely not looking at El Nene. Ramsey has that. He has something different. Ramsey can be replaced. If we go and find someone like that, I've done many a vid, so there's no point bringing specifics. He can be replaced. But on one hand, I do feel a man is actually, I don't feel he should get 250k or whatever he's asking. I don't feel he's worth that in the same way I love Mesut Ozil, but I don't think he was worth 350 bags, even though I'm happy he stayed. On one hand, I think he's right to ask for a raise. If I was Ramsey, you would ask for that. If you've been here since essentially 10 years, since 17, you're now 27 in the peak, you've won 3 FA Cups, scoring in 2 of them, you really could claim to, okay, bring me more parity to the higher owners of this club. I don't think Emery named him as a captain and things like that, but he did, as one of them 5 captains, but he did say he's going to be a vital part of his side and things like that. So if you're going to do that, you want a decent fee, and he's 27, a decent contract, and he's 27 years of age. So when you factor in, this is probably his last big contract. It's probably, whether he chooses to stay or go, it will be his last significant move, because yes, he's 27. It's not going to happen. He's got a young family. I think he's got 1 or 2 children already, and he's got twins on the way. So he's got a lot to think about. It's a significant move. He's young himself. I'm sure his wife is around the same age, or his girlfriend. His family is young. So whether they're going to move abroad, move out of London, stay in London, whether it's at Arsenal or another club, he needs to think about what he's going to do, because you're going to now spend a significant part of your career. So if you're going to go abroad and you deem that's a great way for your family to live and stuff because you've got a young family, that's cool. But you need to fully consider that, because 27, you're going to be there for 3 years or so. So he's got a lot to consider, and he's got a lot both to consider in terms of his family and quality of contract to be delaying. I understand it. And you could say he's one of the most vital players. On the other hand, I see someone injury record. I see someone who, yeah, he had a good season last year, but and probably, what was it, 2013-14? How often a season has he had that? I don't think Ramsey should be synonymous with goals. Like, I don't feel, at times it feels like he scores, people leave him alone, or at times I must admit it felt like on a pitch he looked like he just wants a goal to leave so people can leave him alone, because we know he had a tough time. But I get both ways. For me, I wouldn't give him 200 and 250 plus or whatever being stated. But if I'm Ramsey, you're fully right in asking for that, to be honest with you. I mean, whether it was from wages, agreements being quashed, or just Ramsey got cold feet, I guess we'll never know. Another reason as to why I wouldn't, Ozil doesn't deserve 350k either. But are we now, Ozil's wages probably messed up the club now, but does Ramsey deserve to be brought parity with Mesut Ozil, who's won World Cup, Lacazette and Aubameyang, who are 2 top-class strikers in the world, and I can't remember the others, but does he deserve to be parity with that? His form as a whole don't really suggest that. And his injury records as well. Does it make sense pouring this money into someone, draining possible wages that could be used to bring in new recruitments and things on him? It wouldn't. So, yeah, I think this isn't going to end well. If I'm Chelsea, if I'm United, I'd look at a good cut price deal, because whether them fans rate Ramsey or not, I don't necessarily think he's messed. He is quite untidy technically, but they'll get a homegrown, a good addition and you need to remember he's registered. He can be registered as a homegrown player, a British player. He'd add goals. If I'm Ramsey, I've seen him linked with Juventus, Milan, Chelsea, United off the top of my head. I would actually probably either go United for the P's, look at Alexis, the funds there, and I heard you lot had you and Alexis had a scrap at Arsenal, continue that, or I go to Chelsea. I mean, you could be the closest thing they have to Lampard. You'd never be Lampard. In fact, it's probably Mason Mount, but you'll never be Lampard. But they'll fall in love with a goal-scoring midfielder. The team with midfield, there's question marks over Chelsea's midfield from Chelsea fans I've seen, but they're a more competitive side than us. Want to win the league more than us, clearly. The side will be probably built in a way to allow you to thrive a bit more. I want to keep Ramsey because he can play a couple of midfield roles, but it is what it is at this point. Like, it really is what it is. For me, if you really rejected 50 million at this club, something is wrong at this club. Someone is smoking budge. Someone is smoking the wrong sort of weed at this club, because how can you reject him for 50 million to now face the prospect of actually losing him for free, or ideally now, which I said in a couple of videos before, 25 million in Jan now, which you just have to take that on the chin. Aaron Ramsey said he wants to keep him and he's vital and he's this and that, despite the fact that he's dropped him out the side previously and he's rotated him. So he wants him to stay, but it looks like Aaron Ramsey somewhat, at least on the at face value views, like the matter is between the club. I want the player to stay. The matter is between the club and the man's owners and agents and them sort of people. There, I'm wiping my hands clean of it and I'm just dealing with it. I mean, you could go collect wages, like I said, at Man United. You could play Champions League football at Juventus. I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo, Italy. You got a young family. They could, that young family, when they will get to 10, 11 and that, and they know Italian and they've spent a portion of their life in Italy. These are life experiences you might not get the chance to have again. Obviously, you could on the basis that you're essentially rich and you can move there, but you get the point. Like, I even saw Madrid link with him. I mean, go and control the bench and be a friend for Bale. I mean, you could stay in London at Chelsea. There's so much he needs to think about, and there's so much he needs to do. I mean, one thing is just this lax approach at Arsenal. I mean, with Wenger's contract, it was a mess. Alexis, Ozil, Gnabry, it's just a lax approach. Tie people down so you can sell them for more money or let them go because you're harming yourselves. Yeah, he's on 110 a week now. I don't think he's worth 250k. I'd probably settle around 180, maybe just about 200. But it is what it is at that point, man. I mean, Yeah, man, if the offer's been removed from the table, at least us fans, this could just be a ploy from his agent, because we know his agents like to play games on Twitter, but at this moment in time, he's going to depart the club. Now, we'll have to see. I'm personally, if he wants to leave, just go, because I'm tired of this. Every year, there's a next man's contract business that I'm having to make vids about, and we're having to think about. We're not where we want to be as a football club, so we just need to focus on getting back in the champs and patterning in all areas. We can't keep doing this. Guys, DG, man. Nothing more to say. I'm out.